Are still here at Atlanta Live. If you are just tuning in, you are about to be blessed. We have been hearing Tom's music all throughout this first part of this broadcast, and we're going to interview them, Tom and Becky Taylor. Would you welcome them to Atlanta Live tonight?
Good to have you. Good to have you. Blessings, blessings.
Tonight. God bless you. What a joy the music has been, and what we've even been talking about prior was how it's inspired. It's the life that happens to everybody, the ups and the downs. And Tom, tell us a little bit of how God got you into the music industry and what God is doing. I know you've got a CD out there now that's debuting, and all the things that God is doing is wonderful.
Well, basically, I started writing music about 3 years ago, and first it was just music, and I couldn't write any lyrics. And I finally was able to write lyrics to one song. And then Becky started hearing lyrics to another song I'd been playing, and that was "Forgive Them." And so we started writing lyrics together, and it just seemed to flow, and it just seemed so inspired. And so,
was you raised in a musical home?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
My dad played guitar. My older brother. We
have our worship leader started banging around when he was about 3 years old. So,
yeah.
Did you get a guitar when you were a kid? I bought my daughter a Hannah Montana. It's still under the bed, but she's got one anyway.
Well, my dad had one when I was young, and I started actually playing it probably around 10 years old. And but I didn't really get very serious about it till I was like 17.
Well, music, we were talking about it in the earlier set, and music is such a powerful tool. When we were talking about deliverance and freedom, one of the greatest things that I believe God has given believers that have been saved or been delivered is music, because there's nothing like music that helps you perpetuate your deliverance.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like worshiping the Lord, So when you're struggling with something and you begin to worship, it just seems like it melts a lot of strongholds away.
Oh yeah.
Well, praise the Lord for that. So you started hearing his melodies and started putting some lyrics to it. Huh?
I did. I was actually pregnant with our son, and he was playing his guitar in the living room, and all of a sudden I felt like the Lord was just giving me these lyrics, and they happened to fit with the music, and we've been writing songs ever since.
Do you think, strategically, as far as the lyrics coming, do you think a lot of the music comes through your mountaintop experiences, your valley experiences, life experiences? I mean, talk about that.
I'd say it's mostly struggles. A lot of my music is inspired by the hard times, I think. And
when you think about David, in the Bible,
Sure.
and how he's known as such the worshiper and has the heart after God, how many times he would, the songs of David when the enemies were pursuing him, and God, where are you at? And what, so there's so much truth to that. And yet, God is so very real in the valley.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about your testimony here in just a moment, but it seems like most things that are worth and enjoyed come through pain, and just like birthing a child.
Yeah.
I mean, how painful it is, or birthing a ministry, or birthing a business, or birthing birthing a marriage. Sometimes it's through the struggles, but at the end of a thing, it's such a beautiful song.
Amen.
Is that what you notice as these lyrics are coming forth?
Definitely.
absolutely, yeah.
A lot of times it feels like words that you can't say can be spoken in a song. Mm-hmm. And that's where we got the song "In His Hands," was after a really horrific pregnancy. Yeah. I had lost 2 babies before I got pregnant the 3rd time. And when I was 12 weeks pregnant, I ended up having 3 major surgeries.
At 12 weeks.
At 12 weeks.
And we've had 5 children, and that is such a miracle, because you don't want to disturb anything that's going on. I mean, God put that baby in that womb.
Yeah.
And so what a testimony of his keeping power, not only keeping you as the mother, but keeping the baby and how God worked in an impossible, really
Well,
medically, an impossible situation.
Well, I even want to get back to before the pregnancy. You had 2 miscarriages, is that right?
Yeah,
What?
I lost 2 babies.
You'd had lost 2 babies, and I know there are women out there watching right now that have been through miscarriage, that lost children, and I think in a lot of situations, and you would be able to speak to this obviously better than I would. People don't realize the pain and the struggle that comes.
It's a loss.
It is a loss. Talk about that for just a moment.
Well, there's a grievance that you have to go through, and I remember one afternoon, Tom and I were sitting at home and just felt angry and confused and didn't understand why this baby that we wanted so badly was taken from us. And it is a process you have to go through. And I think if we hadn't ended up getting pregnant the second and third time, that we would have had to have gone further into the process of grieving and letting those babies go.
Sure.
The third pregnancy that I ended up having, I didn't think I was going to make it through it.
Wow.
I was so afraid that this baby was going to be lost also. And the Lord just spoke to me one day, and I felt like He said, you know, my presence is here. This baby's in my hands, and He's protected and covered. And if He hadn't have told me that, I couldn't have gone through my pregnancy. I couldn't have gone through the 3 surgeries I had to go through.
Well, I can't
without
imagine the
that
battle.
promise.
You mean you've already lost 2 children.
Yeah.
You're pregnant. You get a bad report. Physically, yourself are going through something while you're pregnant. I can imagine the battle that was going on in your mind. Where was it that you found that word from the Lord? Was you at a specific moment, a specific time?
It was. It was actually Psalm 139, for thou possess thy reins. My mom actually had given me that verse and spoke it to me and said that, you know, this is a covering over this child, and you just need to accept it. And the moment I did, there was such a peace.
Wow.
So I couldn't.
Well, and what a lesson, because everyone has challenges. And yet you go to the Word and how the Word came alive. It wasn't just ink on page.
Yeah.
That Word held that baby, held you through the duration of the rest of that pregnancy, and then birthed the song in His hands so that multiple people and hundreds and thousands of people can then enjoy the Word that God birthed in you. What a testimony. In fact, here, just in a moment, we're getting ready to go back to a music set, and Tom is going to be singing a song.
This will be a song that was written out of this pregnancy and the Word that God gave you. So after the first surgery, did you think you were all in the clear after that, and then they told you had to go back in for another one or 2?
It was in the course of the first surgery that I knew I was going to have 2 more.
Wow.
So.
But the whole time. So what happened 9 months later?
Actually, they told us that our son was going to have severe club foot, and he was born perfectly healthy. The Lord, nothing was
Praise
ever
the
wrong with
Lord.
his feet, and you know, we just are so thankful we got a healthy 3-year-old boy now.
Awesome.
Amen. He's
Tom,
beautiful.
if you would you go ahead and approach the music set there, and we're going to get ready to go to you in just a moment. Well, and your son's name is?
Liam.
Liam.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, what a
Amen.
testimony. Well, maybe you're watching right there tonight, and you have gone through some of the same struggles, or maybe the same pains, and maybe it's right fresh on your heart right now. I just want you to know tonight there's hope.
Amen.
God is able, and He can turn that situation around. And we're going to allow this song, let this song minister to you in His hands. Here it is.
I watched you come into this world. I always knew that I love you. You give me joy unspeakable, and now my heart is overfull. He held you in the palm of his hand, a special gift from God above. I look at you and see his love, and I love you, and I'm so thankful for you, and I pray God holds you in his hands. And help me, Lord, to be a man. My little boy can be just like. I want to teach him all your ways, so he will serve you all his days. And I love him, and I'm so thankful for him, and I pray you hold him in your hand. And I love you, and I'm so thankful for you, and I pray